There's a popular saying in sport, it ain't over till it's over. Well, get ready for the most secondhand embarrassment you've ever felt, because we're about to see just what happens when people choose to celebrate too early. Before we dive in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on for a year of good luck. Alright, let's get started. In the third stage of the Gira Rosa, Lucy Kennedy forgot to look over her shoulder before crossing the finish line and started to celebrate.
Her arm in the air.
She thinks she has it, and I mean, I thought she had it.
We thought she had it, but look at that lunge to the line from...
The look of disappointment on her face afterwards when she realizes she hasn't actually won says it all. This volleyball game was quite intense with the score at 17-18. And just as the white team thinks they've landed a point, a player on the opposing team lunges and barely manages to keep the ball in play. Point for the blue team, disappointment for the white team.
Keep it alive somehow. This is wonderful scrambling around it.
You might think this game isn't serious, but take a closer look and you'd see the speed and skill this man has in order to stack these cups faster than you can blink your eyes. He was doing really well until the end and even managed to beat his own personal record. But just as he manages to finish an incredible time, he forgets to hit the timer and goes off to celebrate instead. These cyclists share one of the coolest matches ever seen in a race. The rider in red thought he had already won, but the cyclist in green stayed focused on not letting up and crossed his rival by inches.
We'll be watching to take advantage of those gaps, and the rider's laying off the wheels. He applies some pressure now, picks up the speed.
The margins could not be any finer than that. This goalkeeper makes possibly the best save of his life, but unluckily for him, the ball bounces awkwardly and starts rolling back towards the net. You can't blame him because he did save the ball with his head, so he was still probably seeing stars. His teammates tried their best to warn him, but it was just too late. Football player Chris Williams was going in on a flow of his own as he glides through the field, leaving bodies behind him like it's nothing.
Does he get a block? Here he goes! Chris Williams is going to do it again!
9 times out of 10, he would have been justified in slowing down and turning around to welcome his teammates in to celebrate. But there was one player on the other team who wouldn't give up just yet. He makes a last-ditch attempt to tackle him and gets him on the ground.
And a back pedal. I didn't like the ending.
But it's surely too late, isn't it? Turns out, it wasn't. The touchdown didn't count, with the difference being smaller than a couple of inches.
Wayne,
after review, the Hamilton player was down at the 1-yard line. It's first down, Hamilton at the 1.
So we'll call it a 116-yard return.
This 5,000-meter run was coming to an end, and there were 4 clear leaders. It was going to be a close ending to the race, but no one could have predicted that the 5th-place runner would come bursting through with unreal energy and speed to clutch the victory.
The question became, was it sustainable? She backed off on that pace, but it kind of set the tone and set her pacing.
During a badminton match, this Thai player thought that the shuttle had gone out of bounds and that she'd won the match. But it turned out that it was very much inbounds, which resulted in her losing the point. Who would have thought spelling bees would get this competitive? One of the contestants in the back made fun of another contestant who'd spelled his word wrong. But when it was his time to shine, he couldn't spell his own word and ended up looking very embarrassed.
T-H-A-A-R, Dratar.
And then next round to be the champion.
Ayacuite?
Now, this volleyball game expanded my horizons on what you can legally do on the court. The white team here thought they'd gotten the point, but the athlete on the other team acted on her feet literally and kept the ball in play to get her team a point. Yes, that bit of play is entirely legal and pretty impressive. The coach can complain all he wants, but that point was lost because his team chose to celebrate too early. On The Price is Right, this contestant thought she had hit the jackpot and won $100 grand. Her celebrations turned out to be a bit premature, but hey, she's still going home with something. The host of the show gives her some encouragement, and she will need it for sure. In a motocross race, Megan Rutledge was in a comfortable lead. But when it was time to land the victory and take it home, she pumped her fist just a bit too early, causing her to lose control of her bike and come crashing down.
Take the gold medal in Los Angeles. Whoa! No! Pumped her fist! Oh, she thought she was going to win it, but she opened the door.
What could have been tears of joy turned out to be tears of despair.
Megan Rutledge, look at that. The sad face of Megan Rutledge, who had it. She absolutely had the win in this race, Cameron.
During this cycling marathon, the cyclist in the light blue thought that he was in the last lap and rushing towards victory. But there was another lap to go. He threw his hands up to celebrate only to realize the race was still on. That has to be every rider's worst nightmare.
The final time, he throws up his hands.
Oh no!
It's 1 to go.
Still 2.7. Yes, one more.
Oh.
He goes.
In a close tennis match between Frances Tiafoe and Daniil Medvedev, Tiafoe manages to get a close shot away and turns away in relief and celebration. In hindsight, he should have given his opponent a little more respect, who managed to get back to the ball in time to take the point away. He's even pointing to the crowd in celebration. This marathon runner thought it was a good idea to begin celebrating just as she'd finished the lap. I mean, look at her. She's practically on the verge of tears as she stops with that celebratory euphoria rushing through her body. She then realizes that there's been a massive error in her judgment and she still has one lap to go. That's just unfortunate. This soccer player thought he'd secured a goal for his team and immediately went over to celebrate with his wife in the stands. But it turned out the goal had been called offside. Even his wife didn't notice that the goal had been disallowed, so it came as quite an unwelcome surprise when the player eventually found out what had happened. A lesson he will surely never forget. Get ready because this next one is really embarrassing. At the 2017 Oscars, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway announced the wrong winner for Best Picture, awarding it to La La Land.
La La Land.
After they all went up on stage and celebrated, it was cut short when someone backstage came to tell them that the actual winner was Moonlight.
There's a mistake. Sorry, no. There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
Which of these do you think was the best? Let us know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to make sure you never miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.